Today I'm reviewing Agatha Christie's novel, The Boomerang Clue. The British title is Why Didn't They Ask Evans? I like that title a lot better. It's much more provocative for this novel, and it's the central question of the novel. Why didn't they ask Evans? It's not actually the only question. The other question is, what does that question mean? So there are a couple layers to that. I'm also reading Agatha Christie's book, Unfinished Portrait, which she wrote under the pseudonym of Mary Westmacott. I'm finding these Mary Westmacott novels a bit slower, and maybe it's because they aren't mysteries or conventional mysteries, so I'm not as interested in them. But I'll be reading them along, probably at a slower pace. But I'm going to, for the sake of keeping up with my blog and everything, I'm going to just keep going through the mysteries and reading those periodically and supplementing as I finish them off. Anyway, this book shares kind of a plot structure to many Alfred Hitchcock adventure movies. It's like the Hitchcock movies in that it starts at a point, takes you through a journey, or takes the characters through a journey, and comes back to home base. Movies like The 39 Steps do this. It's also, I suppose you could say, similar to how Joseph Campbell describes the monomythic journey. If you've read any Joseph Campbell, he talks about the hero's journey as leaving his homeland, having kind of an adventure and finding something that benefits people on a broader scale beyond just himself, and then he returns home with this knowledge, with this boon, they call it. This, I don't know if it goes quite to that level, but it does certainly have that cyclical feel about it. Thus, the American title, The Boomerang Clue. The story concerns a young man named Bobby Jones, who's the son of a vicar, and he's golfing one day with a town doctor in Wales, and his golf ball goes over the cliff, and when he looks over the cliff, he finds that a hiker has also apparently fallen over the cliff. And everything starts from there. He goes down to check on the body while the doctor goes back to get his medical bag and get some kind of transportation to bring the body back to the hospital. And the man whose back has been broken opens his eyes, and his last words are, "Why didn't they ask Evans?" Very cryptic message. And so Bobby, with the help of his friend, Lady Frances Derwent, who goes by the name of Frankie, they spend the rest of the novel trying to figure out what this message means. Why didn't they ask Evans? They have no context for the question, so it holds absolutely no meaning for them. And Evans is a rather common name, so you can imagine there's going to be a lot of problems in trying to figure out what this means. And I think this question of context is very central to the way that Christie plots her novels. She'll take an idea and she'll explore the multiplicity of meanings of that idea, so that something that might mean one thing in a certain context will mean quite another in a different context. And she relies on a more common understanding of something in order to divert our attention from what really is going on. In this case, we have no context. She completely removes any sort of context, so it's just this meaningless phrase. And slowly over the course of the novel, Bobby and Frankie piece together parts of the puzzle, and by the end they know what that question means and why that question was important enough to kill for. This question will take them on quite a journey throughout England, and Lady Frances is this kind of young, plucky woman with a ton of money. Bobby has very little money, so they're kind of an interesting pair. He's just gone into business with a good friend of his, selling old cars that are really just lemons. They try and fix them up so that they just move for a little bit, and as long as the person buys them and they get them out of the shop, then they're done with them. Frances, or Frankie, uses her title in this novel to get information. When she finds out a person who may or may not be involved in the crime was in the vicinity of the murder, she finds out where he lives and goes and crashes her car into the wall of his house and pretends to have gotten a concussion so she can gain access into the house and spend time they're gaining clues. So these people, they're kind of like Tommy and Tuppence, kind of like Bundle Brent and Bill Eversley and some of the other stories. They're very, they're young, they're energetic. I like this novel because it's a very, I like the plot structure of the novel. It really does take you on this nice journey. There are a lot of interesting ideas going on in it. It's probably not one of her strongest, but it is a very nice plot. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.